Hi, my name is Owen. I'm a Rolfer that's been practicing for close to 30 years. My goal when I see a client is to obviously help them in terms of what brought them to see me. Now, most of us find a Rolfer because we're in some kind of pain, and often because we've tried other therapies that might have helped, but the change has not been as permanent as we'd like. So I want to certainly address that. But actually, the more challenging part and the more fun part for me is going beyond the reducing, or usually in most cases, the removal of that symptom or the condition that brought the patient in to see me, but really to a place where that client is achieving a higher level of functioning, a higher level of vitality. In other words, they end up looking and feeling younger. Now, we attribute a lot of our aging processes to getting old. That's something that seems to be inevitable. That's a sort of a cultural belief, but I actually don't buy into that belief. I'm 55 years old, and I'm looser, faster, more coordinated, in some ways stronger than I was at 25, and I weigh less. My body performs better than it did at 25. Now, Rolfing wasn't the only thing that's got me there, but it was a huge part of that. So our bodies are capable of regaining some of the resiliency and vitality of youth, and also maintaining that with a minimal amount of effort. And the secret to doing that is getting the soft tissue system, or particularly what we work with as Rolfers is the fascial system, and that's an aspect of connective tissue. And fascia, it's something that we all see, but we don't know that we're seeing it, or we're often eating it. And what it is the gristle and steak, or that thin sheet that you see when you pull the skin of a chicken off of the meat of the chicken. And it's really that connective tissue system that holds everything together. It holds the muscles together, it holds the muscles onto the bones, it holds the organs together, and allows all our body parts to function. But what happens is, this fascia is the organ of stress. Dr. Hans Selye wrote a book called The Stress of Life many decades ago, and he was a little ahead of his time, so much so that they called him a quack, and he had to leave the country and go practice medicine in Canada. Well, he called fascia the organ of stress because it is where the stress that we incur in life, the physical stress, all the way to trauma, to the everyday emotional stress that we've sort of become accustomed to. Well, the whole continuum of stress impacts our connective tissue. And so what happens is that supple, resilient connective tissue that we had when we were a child is now much more like the gristle in a tough piece of meat, or as a scar tissue on a part of our body that we've injured. And we don't believe that our whole body should be that way, and we don't realize that because it's been such a gradual process, and all our peers seem to be that way. So my goal is to really reverse that process, and one of the ways that it is sustainable is by teaching people two simple skills, and I tease my clients and say, if you learn these two skills, you got everything. First skill, which none of us really do well, which is breathe. And I've had Olympic marathon runners as clients that weren't breathing, and after a few sessions, beyond the fact that their injury went away, even beyond the fact that they were running faster, what really impressed them was that they were breathing more. So we just don't breathe. The other behavior I work with is teaching you to use your body in gravity, specifically how to walk. There are other disciplines that have taught that. We have an offshoot of Rolfing called Rolf Movement that sort of teaches that. But over the years, I've come up with a very simple way to teach it that is very effective. Everyone from, I've taught it to women in their 80s that were wanting to get back to walking, to Olympic marathon runners in their 20s. And everyone's benefited from learning how to use gravity to propel them forward. And both of these skills are easily teachable, particularly once the body starts to release. And after a few sessions, people generally feel that release, and they start to feel it's becoming sustainable. So my goal is to help you get out of pain if you're in pain, to help you learn how to move in a more relaxed and natural way, but ultimately have you create your own body that is much more pleasurable in its day-to-day performance and much more sustainable in that resiliency and pleasure. So I invite you to explore my site, align.org, to learn more about what Rolfing is and also my specific approach to Rolfing. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you're having a good day. Bye.